Everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and get the meeting started. And we'll call a meeting at 5 o'clock sharp. We're getting started. Hi, Eli. The League of Women Voters Corpus Christi area is a nonpartisan grassroots civic organization that encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influences public policy through education and advocacy. At this time, we're going to go ahead and have Sylvia to call the roll and establish a quorum. We need at least, 5 people to establish our quorum.
Okay. Good afternoon. Roll call. It's Alice Upshaw, Hawkins.
Here.
Sandy Boatwright. Beth Stockley.
Here.
Eli McKay. Nick Jimenez.
Here.
Alex Fluke. Did I pronounce that correctly?
It's fluke. It's fluky.
Fluky. Okay.
I believe she's going to be late, Alex.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did say she was going to be late.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Let's see. Who did I miss? Beth Stockley. Did I say her, Beth?
I'm here.
Okay, there you are. Okay. And Chris Garcia?
Yeah.
Okay. Did I miss anyone? Brittany?
Here. Did you
It's
get
good, Nick.
Armand?
Who? Armand?
Mhm.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
And Lisa Hernandez.
I'm here.
Nick
Okay.
Jimenez.
Miss
Call Nick's
Tryon,
name.
Miss Tryon, did you also get Eli McKay? They mentioned that their mic isn't working, but they're also here.
Here. Okay, great. Okay,
Here we
so
And Sylvia?
uh-huh.
And Sylvia's here.
Which one? Compost? I mean,
Tyrone Oliver.
Nope,
Okay.
that's our secretary.
That's the
Yay.
She's here.
secretary. She's here. She's the one calling the roll.
okay. We have a quorum, Madam President.
Thank you so much. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I sent the minutes in an email if you've had an opportunity to read them. If not, if you'd like to have a minute or two to take a look at them, if you've printed them out, we'll go ahead and call for approval of the minutes.
I move they be approved.
I second.
Who was that? Was that Armand?
No,
Or Nick?
Nick.
Who's that?
Nick.
Okay, it's been moved by Nick Jimenez and seconded by Armand Alex. If all are in favor, let it be shown by the usual sign of raising your hand. Keep them up, please. 6. And I'm gonna raise mine, 7. Okay, it's been moved and approved that the minutes be received as read. We're gonna start with Miss Sandy for her to give us our report.
Lisa, first off, let me apologize. You didn't get it this morning. I didn't have you on the list. I copied somebody else's email and I apologize. I've just
Oh.
forwarded it to you.
Okay, that's what I had gotten it later on today, so I have it. Thanks.
Okay. Essentially, I am still trying to balance some things, mostly the cash and PayPal, which are the usual problem. Essentially, I have to get the Women Equality dinner done before I can do the month because it tells me where I put everything for the month. The net, well, the bottom line is we raised a boatload of money. I have that we brought in about 13,500. That hopefully excludes all the membership. We also have some memberships that have come in. And unfortunately, I have to get to those pretty soon. We have expenses of approximately $6,500. So if you take those two out, I've got my working profit number 7,200 because I messed with them. If you just do the subtraction, it's basically $7,000. I have a little money that I've gotten from Chris for collecting late auction items. So I mean, like I said, there's some more coming, and the problem is the cash. The cash never works out right, and I'm fighting with it right now. The new PayPal thing worked pretty well, although there is some what I will call operator error in its function right now, because that was my first day ever using it and the day I learned how to use it.
Wow.
So hopefully we will get that resolved and there won't be any problem. But the bottom line is we have about $7,000 to do the
Order guys.
voter's guide. Thank you. And I should have at least PayPal worked out in the next day or so. It's the cash that I can't quite get to work. So there may just be a rounding error eventually, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So I just have a question now, Sandy.
Sure.
That $7,000 that you are reporting, that all comes from the dinner. That does not include anything else. Is that correct?
That is from tables and seats sold, auction. The donation jar brought in $804. The till brought in about $900 or $1,000. And that includes, I believe, $6, maybe $6 in donation that I made and a $2 donation that Anel made. It does not include membership. So
Okay,
it should, I mean, it's pretty much,
my main reason for asking that is that does not include the money that we got from the state, correct?
no. Oh, no.
Okay, okay. So the 7,000 is based on the Women's Equality Day dinner and all of the
Correct.
things. Okay, thank
Correct.
you so much. All right,
So we will spend the money from the state first on the voter's guide and then get
Yeah.
into that money.
okay. Well, I am remiss that I didn't start this meeting off by thanking everybody for all of the hard work that got put into organizing and putting on the Women's Equality Day. I'm taking a play out of Chris's advice. She says, "Don't call names."
Don't call
So
what?
don't call names
At
because
a
for
big
fear I
event,
might
at a big
miss
event, if you
something.
don't have the list, don't call any name.
So I just want to say thank you to everybody who jumped in and did whatever you did to make this a rip-roaring success. It was a good event, and I just want to offer my thank yous and my gratitude for all of the hard work that everybody put in. So thank you so much. And I think that you ought to give yourselves a hand because you did an awesome job. Yeah. Okay. So
I have
thank
two
you.
more little things.
Okay, go
um,
ahead.
First, I think we need to do a debriefing on it fast.
Absolutely.
So that's
Absolutely.
one. But two, I have the insurance policy or the insurance quote. And I would like to see us get the $558, $500,000 limit policy for in this quote. It's the DNO policy.
Okay. Sandy did send that to me. I did not add it as a document on the list of things that I put in.
I
But
sent
Shannon,
it to everybody.
okay, great. If you all need to take a look at that, that would be fine. It is legalese and stuff like that. So if you have any questions, you will have to call Sandy. She did walk me through everything on there. So I have a good idea, but if anybody has any questions on that quote that we have received so that we can indemnify all of our leadership, please direct your questions to Sandy. And if you send it in an email, just copy me because that may be something that any response to that may be something that I never thought to ask. So I'd appreciate that.
Actually, if we could vote on it tonight, it would be good. This is our
Okay.
DNO policy essentially. and they're waiting on me to tell them to book it.
Okay.
But it's, I hope I don't
What is
close
the
out the meeting.
insurance for?
Sorry?
What is the insurance for?
It's D&O. It covers us in case somebody sues us.
For any event at any of our events or?
Well, no, it's not for events. It's for our activities. For events, this may cover stuff at events, but it's also, we also have insurance through the state if we decide to go that route. We haven't yet, but if we list the state as a co-sponsor of any event we hold, like the dinner we just held, then they will provide liability coverage for the event.
So that every,
Question,
yes, Chris.
didn't we have a line item last year? Didn't we
Yes.
have this coverage?
Yes.
Is this the same company?
No, this is a different company and it's a little cheaper.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? So let me just ask, would you guys need to take a minute to look at that, or can we, I don't like to make assumptions, but I know that I have looked at it and it passes the smell test for me. If anybody else wants to weigh in or have questions on that, if not, then I will entertain a vote to approve that bid for insurance so that we can have some insurance that will cover the executive board, the officers.
Well, I'll move that we purchase the coverage for $558, which is a $500,000 limit, not purchase employment practices liability insurance because we don't have any employees.
Correct. Can I get a second on that, please?
This is Eli, I'll second.
Okay, Eli McKay, second the motion. Okay, let's take a vote on that. All in favor of purchasing this particular insurance, please raise your hand and hold it up so that our secretary can take a look, see. And I'm gonna have mine up too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, it has been moved in second that we accept the bid. What is the name of the company, please?
Oh, I just shut it down. It's through the GSM insurance company.
I
Sorry,
think it's GSM Insurers.
It's the
Okay.
GSM are the agents,
Okay,
not the insurers. Sorry, hang on, I gotta open it again.
I'm looking at the document. It says GSM Insurers, a partner of the insurers group.
Right, though, that's the broker.
Okay.
It's the holder, the insurer is. United States Liability Insurance Company.
I'll throw it
Okay,
in.
it's been
Section
moved.
1, premium and underwriting notes on page 1 of 3.
I just added it into the chat as well, if that was helpful to Ender.
Okay, thank you. So all in favor, we already voted, yes. Did we vote? I'm confused. Okay.
Yes, we did.
Okay, I'm sorry. It it has been moved in second that we purchase the insurance from that company liability, let's see here.
United States Liability Insurance Company.
United States Liability Insurance.
It's an A++ rated company.
Okay.
President Hawkins, I was wondering if there's still discussion open for the topic. I was curious about how the specific insurance company was recommended for us. How did we come across it?
I contacted the GSM brokers. They're people I worked with when I was practicing law. And they produced this, and it, as I said, it is an A++ superior rated company, which is the AM Best rating of it, which is a good rating for a company.
That sounds about right. Okay, sweet. Thanks so much, Sandra. Appreciate
No
it.
problem.
Other questions? Okay, hearing none. Any other questions for Sandy before we move on to our next report? Okay, thank you, Sandy. Appreciate all the hard work that you do. I know you wrestle with that all the time. Okay, our next agenda item is the program study and advocacy by Mr. Alex.
Thank you much, President Hawkins. Alrighty, folks, it's looking like we are on track for programs for the rest of the year. So I'll just go ahead and read over. Oh, I thought somebody was saying something. It was just a puppy. I'll go ahead and read over what I had submitted in my reports. Also noting that in the time since I've submitted and up until our meeting, there has been some changes and updates in regards to my report, thanks to President Hawkins. But I was pleased to report that Dr. Isabel Araiza has confirmed her availability and willingness to speak at our September program meeting as a doctor and professor of sociology at Del Mar College. And she will be providing her insights on the history of desalination in the Corpus Christi area, a topic of great relevance and interest to our community members. In an effort to foster a more interactive and enjoyable atmosphere at our program meeting, I'd like to propose that board members continue to do that thing that we do where we bring some food if we're able to. This is a communal approach that I think could enhance the engagement and overall experience of our program meetings. Additionally, I would like to inquire about that budget that's available. I could possibly go in and take a look at what we had passed at our larger general meeting. But I was inquiring about the budget available for that in terms of buying things such as food and whatnot for our program meetings. Now this section here, there is an update, but I will read as what I was able to send in as a report. Unfortunately, I must inform the board that our agreement with La Retama Library, which was our expected venue, has expired without prior notice to me. I have submitted a new application to renew our agreement, but have not received confirmation from the library director regarding the status of our renewal. I also had attached the application that I had submitted. Since then, I'm very thankful for President Hawkins, who received this report and gave a phone call to the library director's office, who was able to receive an update that the September program as well as our December program have been confirmed. We will officially have our program meetings at the Latama Library, at the Latama room downstairs, as we usually do. So thank you to President Hawkins for that. Let's see. After that, I wanted to also offer. That was it. Yeah, that was it. The previous report that I sent in, I wasn't sure if it was read out loud or if you all were able to receive it for the previous board meeting, but it did give some specificity to qualifications underneath Dr. Araiza for our upcoming PhD in sociology from Boston College. Taught at A&M Corpus, now teaches over at Del Mar. She has expertise including research on city documentation and historical developments related to desalination, making her an informed speaker on this particular topic. And then I'm noticing Chris's comment in the chat. Please send me the program info for September 14th that you are sharing. Sounds great, Chris. I'm more than happy to do so.
Yeah, I never got anything earlier, so whatever
Yeah, I didn't
details,
either.
Okay.
whatever details for the voter, if we're gonna produce it before the 14th, I need to get that stuff, so.
And Armand,
that
I
sounds
would
great.
need that too. I was going to send out a broadcast email to membership, about the meeting. So I would need all that information. So if you will send it to me as
Perfect,
well.
yeah. That's a
Yeah,
wonderful action item for me. Let me just go ahead and make sure I add that in my notes that I've got 2 action items to make sure to send over this info to Chris and Beth.
I would need, the time, place, that it's potluck and the speaker and all that. And I will include that in my email.
Oh, thanks, you two. I appreciate that help. I'll make sure to take care of that.
And
Thank you, Chris
Armand,
and Beth.
also, you might want to send the same information to Nick, who gets the information out as well, because Beth will do a blast to the membership. Chris is going to put it in the voter, and Nick can always get some kind of information out to any of our outlets, our news outlets. And
Perfect.
Nick,
Alex, what is the date for that?
Thank you so much. Our upcoming meeting will be September 14th. That should be a Saturday. And then I'm also confirming, Brittany, I did see your comment as well. If y'all can, Chris, Beth, Brittany, and Alex, I can try to go look at another email, but can you put your emails in the chat for me just for a quick?
I don't
Quick
know
break.
how to do the chat. Let's see. Maybe I do.
Armand, if you will go to the what I sent out for the meeting, all of their email addresses are in that.
Okay. I also remember that in the group chat, someone said a picture. Oh, that was Miss Tryon. I'll try to also grab the emails from that too. Thanks, y'all.
Okay.
Okay.
Alex, please send me all the background on Isabel.
Sounds
As you
good. Yeah.
spoke about her expertise on this.
Yeah, absolutely. What I'll make sure to do is send over the information that I had in the report from last month, as well as her bio that she's made available as well.
Armand, we have budgeted $200 for it's called monthly luncheons, but the general monthly meeting.
Sweet.
Just as a warning to anybody who buys something and wants it reimbursed, not only is there a form you need to fill out, which we've circulated, but you need to get, if you want it reimbursed, we don't reimburse taxes because we're a tax exempt organization. So you'll need to send them the tax form so that they won't charge you taxes.
Thank you, Sandra, for the update. And look, Beth was able to use the
I figured
chat.
it out. I'm
Look at her,
so technically challenged, but I figured it out.
tech savvy already. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. And is that supposed to be at gmll or gmail.com?
It is Gmail. Sorry about that.
Okay, I just wanted to double check. Thank
Okay.
you, ma'am. President
All
Hawken,
right.
that is the report, unless you have anything you wanted to offer about your updates.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I just wanted, thank you, Armand, for that. I just wanted to add, Armand did request that we are able to go into the library on January and what was it, January and February? I'm looking at it. He had requested that we have January 18th and March 29th at the library. And if you all will recall, when we had our retreat, those were the days that we established for us to have our membership meetings. And what has happened, because the library, well, the city is not funding as much as they have in the past. They're cutting the library budget, and so they are in the process of trimming people, the times that the library is open, all of that stuff. And so the gentleman that I spoke with would not okay the January 18th and the March 29th at this point until after they have met and made the decisions on what the library hours is going to look like after the budget is set. So we will have to stay on top of that and make sure that we get feedback for the 18th and the 29th. 18th of January, 29th of March. The other issue that I wanted to make, some of you may not have been on the board when we talked about this, but we want to try to keep the locations the same for the general membership meetings so that people can kind of get in the habit of thinking Lauritama Library when our general meeting, when we are having our general meetings. And that's the reason why Armand went ahead and asked for the January 18th and the March 29th. So we'll be waiting for them to let us know to what extent we'll be able to, because they may even cut Saturday mornings, or they may move the time up, especially while, in these warm months. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but we don't want to, the young man wouldn't said that they weren't able to verify anything except for the September and November meetings. So I think that'll put us far enough ahead where we don't have to do a lot of scrambling. So come January, we'll or after they solidify the budget. And I think the city right now is in talks about budget, if I'm correct. So we'll know real soon how that's going to go, and then we'll get back to you on those dates that we have already set. Any other
Thank you so
questions
much.
for Armand?
Thank you, President Hawkins. I did have a question for Nick. I just wanted to make sure to confirm that it's nick.maria.jimenez.
Yes,
Okay,
at sbcglobal.net.
perfect. Alrighty, I got the 4 folks that asked for the information, and I'll make sure to send this over to you all ASAP.
Thank you.
And
Thanks, y'all.
what's the November meeting date, please?
The 19th,
19th.
I just threw it in the
the
chat.
16th.
Yes.
Oh,
the
there it is.
program,
Okay,
November 16th.
16. Okay.
The rest of the dates are in the chat, y'all. If you want me to also share that, I'm more than happy to do that as well.
Okay,
I
I see it.
I think I put this, did I not put this document in the documents? I thought I
No.
did.
No.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
I
didn't,
think
I'm
so.
sorry. Okay, anyway, okay. Well, those also are in our meetings from our retreat.
I did have
Okay.
a question for Armand. Sorry,
ahead.
so I know we talked previously about the banned book readout.
Yes.
If
I was
we
gonna get
still
to
wanted,
that.
yeah, I haven't heard
I
back
was gonna get to
from
that.
her. But I was thinking I was gonna give her a call tomorrow because I'm out of
Okay.
town right now. So yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you, Brittany, for that. Funny enough, I was working on, I literally in front of me, I'm looking at my drafts. I have a message that I wanted to send just to touch base. And then if we don't hear anything, maybe a good phone call tomorrow would work as well.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. And thank you for taking care of that, Brittany. I certainly appreciate it.
Okay, all right. Does everybody know what Brittany's talking about?
No.
The readout? Does everybody clear on that?
No.
Okay,
I
The
believe
book
Nick,
banning?
Okay.
Nick said no, but Brittany, would you like to do a quick?
explain that, please.
mhm.
The readout,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, so for the past 2 years, we did a readout for banned books. There's the banned book week. And in the past, we've had it at Black Cat Books, and the membership, they'll bring food and, set everything up. But we have a list where people can sign up to read an excerpt from their book, a book that's been banned, and then kind of explain why it was banned and why they chose to read the book. Or why they chose that book. And last year we had about, I believe, 12 people who joined out and reading out, and then we had 25 people that we counted that were there. And so that was a really great event. We had some young students who also participated in reading out books that were banned in their libraries. And so there's a new owner for Black Cat Books, and I've kept and maintain a relationship with her. She was happy to continue the tradition of doing this banned book readout. So this year's the 22nd to the 28th. And what I
Of which
pushed for
month?
was of September. So
Okay.
I put that if we could have it on the 28th, which is a Saturday, and last year we did it on a Saturday as well.
Okay, thank you, Brittany. I appreciate that. And I hate to say this, but I missed it last year because of our TASB conference for the Texas School Board of School Board of Educators, Texas School Board members. Again, I'm going to be Austin again for that meeting during that month. Every year, it's that same weekend. And also the 28th is going to be my birthday. So,
I can
so
read out a
every
book
year
on
I
your
miss.
behalf.
Well, yes, y'all can eat cake and have a joke on me.
Yeah, and she has renovated this space, and she bought it out from the previous owner, so it's larger and it'll be able to accommodate more people.
Okay. Chris says.
Brittany, I know that you're taking the lead on this. And so again, I want to say thank you out loud in the space that we're sharing with the board. But I wanted to also throw in there, if there's any appetite for me to type up potentially a press release that we can send out to local news stations to advertise. I mean, I do think that the importance of having a banned book read out loud is something that a lot of people should be aware of, given the national space around these issues. So I'll follow your leadership if that's something you would think would be helpful, Brittany. I'm also not aware of if there are any limitations given any like board rules around communications like that, but would be happy to at least draft something for you, Brittany.
So
Yeah,
if you draft something, pass it on to Nick because he's our media person.
Ah, okay. Sorry, Nick. Don't want to
Yes.
step on your toes. Let me know if
No,
you
no,
need
no,
help.
that's fine. That's fine. Because I gather we're doing this as part of the league business, right?
Mhm. It's a league business, but it's also an event that we have participated in because we do we don't want books banned, and that's
Right. No,
one
sure.
of our one of
Okay.
our
Send it on and
okay.
I'll get it out.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else on that? Thank you, Armand. Thank you, Brittany, for all of y'all's reports.
Alice,
Yes,
this is
yes,
Catherine.
yes, ma'am.
I'd just like to remind everyone that on September the 14th is when we will be doing voter registration out at KEDT in the morning from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. where the Kids Festival is. So we'll be
Okay.
setting up a table there, just FYI. And
Oh,
so,
thank you.
And
Yes,
that's on the
ma'am.
14th as well.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the reminder,
I think
Catherine.
I had my paperwork here. September the
Mhm.
14th. What time is that going to be?
9 a.m. to
Catherine?
1 p.m.
Okay. 9 to 1. And what time is the band book event?
That's on the 28th. Brittany hasn't been able to confirm a meeting with
Okay.
Black Books. Sorry,
Okay.
Black
Okay.
Cat Books.
Okay.
It's the
But I
same
thought,
date as your general meeting.
Right,
It's the
okay.
same date as your general meeting.
The
correct.
28th.
The
Oh, the
14th is our
14th.
general
14th.
meeting.
Oh,
No.
14th.
I'm sorry, folks. The program meeting is September 14th. The event that we're working on with Black Cat Books is September 28th.
Right.
Okay. All right then. Just wanted to double
Brittany,
check to make sure that.
Do you want me to run by the bookstore? Because I talked to her not too long ago. And she was
yeah, if you want
fully
to, because I'm not.
supportive.
Yeah, I'm not in town right now, so yeah, if you can run by there, and she's there all the time, so yeah, and just bring it up because I went by there maybe last month and talked to her, and she said just shoot her an email. So yeah, if you can run by there, that would be fine.
Thank you, Sandra. I'll also note that I just responded to the email thread that Brittany started. I introduced myself to them as the new VP of programs. So thanks so much for taking care of that if you're able to.
Well,
So,
I gave her some books. So, I talked to her a little bit. She invited me in and we talked
That's
about the
awesome.
band book thing. And so I will just see if I can't get her to get in touch with you, Brittany.
Okay.
So let me ask one more thing about the date on September the 14th. What time is that? Do you have,
Yes.
Armand, do you have a time set for that?
Yes,
Isn't it
ma'am. Thank you.
10 to
Thank
noon?
you. I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
What's the time? The time for the meeting on September the 14th. And I believe that's when Dr. You said what? I can't remember her name.
Arise, huh?
Yes,
Ariza.
10:30. It'll be from 10:30 to about 12.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
That's during our normal Saturday meetings at 10:30 to noon.
Thank
So,
you.
And just for clarification, if people want to put these dates that I throw in the chat in your calendars, it's all of those dates. We're going to work on the locations of the 2025, as President Hawkins had mentioned, but it's those dates, all of them at 10:30 a.m. They should be Saturdays.
yes, that's our normal general meeting time. We keep it at 10:30 to noon. So, Catherine, did y'all get enough people to help with your event? Your voter registration event?
Which voter registration event?
you're talking about the one over at KDT, South
And
Texas? South
that's
Texas?
coming up on September the 14th in the morning,
Right.
because that's when they are having their kids festival from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Right, and that's why I was asking, do you have enough voter registrars to handle that?
Yes,
Because we are
yes,
actually dividing and conquering here.
sure.
So,
No, we
okay,
have
all
that
right.
filled. Thank you for
Oh,
asking.
okay, all right, thank you. So next, Ms. Eli, Congresswoman, on our
I know.
diversity.
I'm sorry to say I don't have a report today, because most of my time was taken by planning the Women's Equality Day dinner. So now that that's passed, I hope to have story for Chris for the voter for the next one that I'll be working on, kind of a follow-up to what I wrote last month in regard to goings on at the library board. So I thought I would write an update for the next voter. And I will also be effectively trying to reorganize my DE&I committee and start planning some committee meetings. So if you are interested in the DE&I committee, please let me know. You could just send me an email or a text message, and I'll make sure to copy you on those. When we were working on it prior, it was kind of a small but mighty group. Armand, Oscar, Julie Rogers, and myself. I hope I'm not leaving anyone out, but the more the merrier when it comes to DE&I. So please let me know if you want to be involved. And I hope to have monthly meetings starting in October is my goal. So that is my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Eli. Appreciate that. Any questions for Eli? Okay, moving right along. Beth?
Hi
Membership?
there. We have 121 total membership. I think last month we had 120. And I know Sandra is still working on some too. We had at the dinner, we handed out applications to quite a few people, maybe, 5 to 10. So I think we should have some new ones coming in as well. But membership is pretty stable. During the month of August, I mostly, like Eli, was focused on the dinner. And so my emails pertained, to attending the dinner and donating to the silent auction and reminding people to come. So that was my focus with membership in the month of August. In the month of September, thank you, Armand. I haven't received it yet, but we'll be receiving all the information about the September meeting, and then I will notify all membership about that. I personally am going to be out of town for the meeting myself, so I feel sorry that I won't be able to attend. I'm actually gone for about 3 weeks, so I won't be able to do much in September. But in October, I'm looking forward to the, that's when we have the, I can't think of it, candidate forum. And I'm happy to help out with that and letting membership there again, be aware of that and what's going on and attending that. And long-term goal would be to have a membership just mixer for fun some evening maybe, but I haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay,
Any
Beth,
questions?
any questions for Beth? Thank you, Beth. Appreciate that. Brittany, did you have a report or anything to give to us? Let me
I
just,
don't have,
let me just say this before Brittany gets started. It is understandable that there are times when you will not have a written report, especially when you're working on some serious events like the Women's Equality Dinner and stuff like that. So it's not, we don't have a problem if you are working on that. And if you want to give a report, then that report will then reflect all the work you've been doing. So it doesn't always have to pertain to your specific job. But if you were working and helping, that's fine too. So don't feel bad about not having a report, because I think everybody was kind of caught up and involved in our Women's Equality Day dinner. And as we can tell from the intake that we received, it was a rip-roaring success, and I really appreciate that. So thank you. Thank you. Okay, Brittany, did you have anything else to give us on the social media? Because I do have a question, and I'm not sure who I should be really directing this to, but we apparently some kind of problem with the telephone,
Yes.
messages being transcribed into text messages and even being responded to. And my question, first of all, who, now I know that, that was tended to by our past secretary, Liz. She was monitoring that. So are we having anybody monitoring that? I had somebody to come up and talk to me about the fact that they had tried to make a phone call, or they tried to call that number, and there was nothing, there were no responses, nothing being answered. So Brittany, you want to have something to say about that?
Yeah, so I did also get some messages through Facebook that someone was trying to utilize or use our phone number that was on there. I don't have access to that number, and I think the way that this role is and what I've been doing with the board so far, I feel like the website and social media should really encompass everything that is tech with the board, because these things are being pieced out to different people. Like, we try to bring together like the emails and things like that, and the fact that we don't really know where that number is linked to. I think it would be, and I'll have to reach out to Liz, but we could just have all that kind of centralized as part of, I don't know why my camera went off, as part of these social media and website to kind of handle this. Sorry, because there's no I don't know who's in control of that or where to access it, because there's also things with, if you do not hush, sorry.
She
Because
told us
also
she had a yappy dog. So is that the yappy dog?
No, that's my older dog.
Oh,
The yappy puppy's outside.
okay.
But yeah, there's also things with Sandy's email and some other things where they're linked to other people's accounts, and the Facebook as well is linked to someone's else's account. So it's really putting some barriers with us trying to utilize the accounts. So the short answer to that is no, I don't know.
Okay. I know that Sandy has also mentioned to me that those devices that we collect money on, that is still has some former people on there. So, well, let me just say this. I will get together with you, Brittany, and with Sandy, and we're going to see if we can't figure out what all that is and reassign the duties on that, because I can't even get into the database, and it's been more than a year. So we're going to just go ahead and work together on that, the three of us, and see what we can do to to figure out everything that is being done on those platforms, and then also assign someone or several people to be responsible for retrieving those messages, and making sure that people are able to contact us, because I've had two people to tell me that the phone work. So we'll need to do that. And I know that Sandy also has pulled in a new money counting daily, that is. And so we'll just have to try to figure out something and try to bring all this together and bring it into the current people that are right now in office, and that they will be able to take care of that, rather than having it other people still on these accounts. So we'll have to take care of that. And if you too would be willing to help me with that, we can figure that out. And the next time, if we can't figure it out by next month, we will be working on that, because we definitely don't want to lose contact with the public. And when we have that on our website and we are actually using that, and then people are trying to use that mode of communication and it is not working, that's a bad reflection on us. So we need to get that taken care of as fast as we can, so that people can actually contact us. So so Brittany and Sandra, if y'all would stand by, we can maybe find a time where we can come together and just have a discussion, even if it's just a conference call. we can take care of that. Thank you, Brittany. And thank you, Sandra. All right, Nick, you're up.
I'm up.
You're up.
Of course, my activities were connected with as everybody else's was, Women's Equality Day. I did, just to tell you who I made contact with, I did send a news brief over to the Caller Times, which, more is better than less. They did publish the brief on Sunday, August the 11th, and then I guess they couldn't take it out, so they ran it again on the 18th and on the 25th, which is
Alright.
great. I figure people show up, I'll let you all deal with it. I did, I did, because Alice, I guess, didn't want to do this. Recorded an audio interview with Kathy Edwards, a KDT news person, which she ran several times. She ran on the 15th, which was the deadline, and that was emphasized in the interview. So we did great with that. I did send a news release over to KII on the morning of the 26th, because I didn't know how much they could do with that. But apparently, whether it was because they had seen the other stuff or because they saw the news release, they did show up at the dinner, and I know Alice had something to do with them. So that would be good. I just want to mention that, and I'm sure you know this, National Voter Registration Day is September the 17th. The only thing that I see listed is a voter registration activity on that 17th at an unnamed high school. And I see the note that, I guess we're not supposed to spread that out, but that's the only activity on the 17th. It'd be good to have, I'm sure the TV people would love to get out and do something on voter registration day. My other thought is, if we're going to get, I don't know when we're going to get the Spanish language voter guides, but I would love to have somebody be available to speak to the Spanish television people and have that voter guide available. Any idea when it might actually be in hand and when it might be distributed? That's a general question.
I can speak to that. I know Alex Fluke's not with us, but Nick, I made a call to the Houston Chronicle, who will do the printing for us.
Yeah.
Joel Meyer was our contact. He's one of the operations head honchos. He thinks he can meet our deadline, which has always been distribution of the voting guides a couple of days before early voting. And early voting, I think, is on October 21st. And so between now and a few days before the 21st, when our PDFs need to go to the Houston Chronicle, we should have them in hand. I mean, Lord willing, these are being shipped from Houston. They worked with us last year, but it was a really tight timeline to get both of those guides to the Houston Chronicle, get it on their press. As you know, from your previous Caller Times experience, they block you in for a certain day. And if you don't make the deadline, then you get kind of at the end of the queue. So it's going to be a real tight window. And Alex has got a lot of her things, I think, entered into the online guide. I've asked her for a list of the final questions. Both of those guides will be at least 36 pages, maybe more. The 2020 guide, in the fall of 2020, we had a 44-page guide in English only. So we've got a really tight window to produce. But
well, I think
answer
that
your
just
question, you should have some stacks either for Spanish language radio or TV, whatever you want to do. We should be able to start hyping that hopefully a few days before October 21st.
Okay, but something to work on. If we could find a person, in my own mind, I see some person standing there talking to the interview in Spanish, holding the voter's guide in their hand.
Yeah.
Unnamed Spanish speaking person at this point. But that's something to work for, I think.
Didn't you do it once, Nick?
What's that?
Didn't
No.
you do it once, or you spoke to somebody for us, I think?
I did, but I usually get my in-house Spanish speaker to do it.
I can ask my in-house Spanish speaker.
Okay, all right,
I'll see if he'll, because he would probably do it.
right, and then we could,
Also,
yeah.
And yes, he is a member, by the way. So,
Well,
Also-
someone who could speak with information, how many, that we would furnish that person, how many copies we have, some idea of where they're going to be distributed, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
well, why can't you speak? Can't you speak for us?
I'll have my in-house Spanish speaker help me out. I can
Okay,
do it.
okay, I hear you.
I
Okay.
can do it. I can do it.
Okay,
I can
okay.
do it, but I'm always a little leery of what I'm saying.
Well, and with your in-house Spanish speaker, since you are one of our media persons, I
Yeah.
think you would be kind of the perfect person if you
Okay.
have
All right.
Maria there with you.
We'll work on it. Chris and I work on
Last
it.
time,
Alex will work on it
well, the last
to do
time
that.
I actually was interviewed by the Spanish station. Can't remember.
KORO, KORO.
Yes, KRO.
Yeah.
And I spoke in English, but what she did was she put it into some kind of translation. And as I was speaking in English, it was translating my words in Spanish.
Yeah.
And they ran that
Right.
on their station. So if push comes to a shove, they can add that translator in with what you're saying. So that
So, we can work
that
on
would be
that.
ideal.
But that's not just an idea I have that I want to work
Okay.
on.
Okay. Well, if you and Maria wants to get Lisa and her Spanish in-house Spanish speaker
Okay.
together,
All right.
maybe that will be a team that y'all can work through
Okay. All right.
and get it done.
Okay.
Okay.
Alice.
Also,
Alice,
September
and we can-
17th.
Yeah, Nick,
Hang
we
on.
can do
Alice,
the
this is
Hang on,
scripting.
hold on, everybody. If you will put your hand up so we can get everybody that comes in order. If you'll hit the little button,
Yeah,
the
I
raise hand button,
did. I did.
and it'll put you in the order that you hit the button.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So
So-
Catherine, I see your hand up.
Yes, ma'am. We have, in the past, we've also gone to Domingo Live, and they have been
Yes.
very receptive about us coming and talking
Yes.
about things with
Oh,
them.
that'd be
And
good.
so this might be another opportunity to do
Okay.
that.
Okay, good.
Sylvia Campos went last year or the last
Okay.
time. Yes,
All
she
right.
did. And she did a great job too.
Mhm.
Okay.
So like I said, they
Who else?
welcome us.
Yes, they do. Okay. Chris, you had your hand up.
I just wanted to remind everybody, I help with scripting and lots of different organizations and things and flow, and especially for news, when we're on the news, you don't go without your script. And so Nick, we can mention how many we printed, how many places we're sending them out to.
Right,
So we'll have a
yes.
script, just bullet points, so that whoever does some interview, whether it's in English or Spanish, has all
Yeah.
the information.
Okay, good.
And you might also indicate that any of the viewers that are watching, if they have an establishment that they would like to have some voter guides, then that they need to contact us, because we had quite a few Spanish voter guides left over last time. But
Oh,
that
wow.
was our trial run, and so we've learned from that. And we're gonna not order as many, but we do want to hit some of those local places like Idaho, Frank's Produce. I took some by Frank's Produce because they have a quite a bit of a large customer kind of group that buys and at her place, and she was really receptive. I've known the family for years and years, and she was really receptive to receiving those voter guides. So, and I'd like for everybody to keep in mind, if there is an establishment that is well attended, that there are Spanish speakers, let us know, because Chris is maintaining a list of locations that we normally send to, but we are looking to add to that list as well. So if you know of a place, just let Chris know, and she can add it to that. And as we distribute our voter guides, they will be on the list. Sandy.
I was just going to make sure that if you announce that if they want them, they should contact us. We probably ought to be using the email address until we get the phone issues fixed.
Good.
Okay. Alex should have the full list from the primary. Okay. So Alex does have a list. She did share it with me and a couple of others on our voter guides that we put out for the primaries in April. So we do have a list that we maintain, and those are our mainstays, but we would like to add to that so that we can do our job, and our job is to educate the public. And the more we can push those out into the community, the better job we're going to be doing in educating the public. Okay.
Madam President, may I add a little
yes.
bit more on voter guide?
Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
In years past, we entertained some requests from industry and businesses to not only, we sell them the voter guide, and they're glad to do that. We got our first request from the Port of Corpus Christi this afternoon. They didn't realize that we had a Spanish language in the works, but they want 315 copies of English. And when I explained that we'll have a Spanish guide, they said, well, we'll just probably order about half that many. They put it in their workroom at the various port facilities so that all of their employees have a chance to look at a voter's guide. It takes some effort to reach out and ask groups if they want to purchase from us. We'll know the price fairly quickly. Sometimes, we can charge 20 cents a guide, and that helps us underwrite the expense of printing. So we really, I'll visit with Alex about that. I know she's been really trying to get those questions up with Catherine's help, I think, on the online thing. And the printed guide, I've got a tentative layout. Some of you know we've got at least 50 candidates in all those various positions, including city council, that need to be in that voter's guide. And so when I mentioned that it could be as many as 36 or 40 pages, that depends on what candidates respond to us. And so we work right until the very end of getting it proofed, knowing that we'll have as many candidates as responded. So it's quite a task. I'm not looking forward to the next 6 weeks, but we can make it happen. And we've got such a great track record on our voters' guides, and especially with the Spanish language. That was the best achievement in my 20 years of league work to see that done.
Yes, I think so. We're really excited about that. We've been tooting our horn about that. Okay, Sandra. All right, did you have something to say? Okay, you took your hand down. Okay, great.
Right. I just wanted to mention to not use the phone number until we have that straightened out. That was all.
Yeah,
I already did it.
Okay, yeah. Don't use a number until we have that straightened out. And I'm just wondering, I don't really want to take the number down, but is it possible that we could maybe put a note there that the number is under repair or something like that, so that if they call, they can at least know that?
I think Liz may still be checking it, and she can still check it, but I don't know.
Well, but the people who are calling in are telling me that they are not having success.
We can put it on our website, I guess.
I think we ought to let Brittany when she gets back into town, we need to figure out how to do it, but we shouldn't be advertising that number if it's not ringing. And wasn't that a Google thing? I mean, this is before in the last several years, but someone else always monitored it. So I don't have basic information on it. I just know that every voter cycle, we get at least 15 or 20 calls from older folks who want to know where the guide can be found, and also from organizations that want a league person to come talk about the election process. And so
Yes, and
it's a really important way to connect with the community. We need to resolve it or go another route.
I
Yes.
can look into it. Like I'm out of town, but I did bring my laptop with me because I'll be here for 2 weeks. So I mean this week I took off from work. I can go through and I can start digging around, really get into this.
Well, would you do that for us, please? And
Mhm.
because I think this is really at the top of our list of being important, because we definitely don't want to not be able to be contacted. And if there's any, and it could be, I don't know, it could be a connection problem or something, but we need to find out. And if you need to get in touch with me, and if I can help you at all, just send me a message, and I'll get involved with that to see if whatever I can do to help as well. Okay, so moving right along. Let's see. I think those are all of the reports. So a conflict. Okay. If I think Sandy sent out or gave out at the retreat the conflict of interest forms. And when I was speaking with her the other day, she said she hadn't gotten all of them back. So if you did not fill out a conflict of interest form and you don't have it anymore or whatever, send Sandy a text message or something, and she can get that form to you, and you can sign off, and she keeps it in holding. So if you need to do that, please take care of that. I think, do you have those names of those who may have turned those in?
I do. I was going to send out an email once I got
Okay.
through the women's equality. Once I've gotten through this meeting, I'll go ahead and send that email out because I have a
Okay.
little more time to work on the finances.
And will
That-
you attach that form if they need to
Oh, yeah,
download?
yeah.
Okay.
I'll send it,
All right.
and because I think somebody signed one and it never, I think it must have gotten cleaned up or something. I've already had that discussion. And just for everybody who wants to know, we're not doing e-signatures, but you can print it, sign it, scan it, and send it back to me. It does not have to be an original signature.
Okay, so I have a few announcements that I need to share with you. And as I shuffle through this, I just printed the emails. That was the easiest way that I could handle this. There is an individual named, and this comes from Joyce Lombard, who is the leader of our state, and she says that we have an individual here in Corpus by the name of Natalie Contreras, is a reporter for Vote Beat / Texas Tribune. And Natalie, and maybe since Catherine is on here with the voter registration, and since Alex is not here, maybe you can pass this on. But Natalie Contreras wants to attend a voter registration event. And she lives in Corpus. And so she has contacted Joyce, and she wants to be able to attend one of those voter registration events. And what I'm assuming is that she's going to do a write-up or some kind of article on the work that we do. And I think that is so important that we get it out there, what we do. So if Catherine, if you would pass this on to Liz for right now, and maybe and I'll send that information to you on how to contact her, and maybe they can Liz and her can get in touch with each other, and she can let them know when the next event, and she can go in and do I guess do a story on that.
Okay, I will. Just in response, let me flip back in my calendar, because on the 17th, September the 17th is National Voter Registration Day. And that might be a good opportunity.
A good day.
I'll check with Liz and see the direction that she feels comfortable going with that, because I think that's
okay. And
yeah.
I'll send you Natalie's email address, and y'all can contact her.
Perfect. We'll do that.
Okay. Okay. So
Can I
Right.
make a
So-
suggestion?
Yes, who's
Maybe
that?
maybe the one on the 14th at KEDT would be a good one. I think Liz is a little reticent about us calling publicity on a voter registration event as opposed to the schools doing it.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but we're also having, she's having a conversation with one of the schools about doing voter registration at on National Voter Registration Act. And, you know, it's trickier at the KEDT because we're off to the side on that event. And it's primarily for the parents and the kids because it's technically a kids. And we have been asked not to circulate during the event, but just to table sit. So in terms of really good, strong efforts and, you know, way to look at this, it's less attractive than what I will talk to Liz about and her plans for one of the school events that she would like to put in place for the National Voter Registration Day.
Alice,
Yes, sir.
I saw on Alex's calendar of voter registration events, an event being held at Lush Cosmetics at the mall, which if I was a Texas Tribune reporter, that would be perfect because you're right there in the mall. You're at a cosmetics place, probably with a much lower demographic age than myself. It might be perfect. Whereas all the other events mentioned so far have too many qualifications on them.
And so what day is that, Nick?
I don't have it here, but I saw it on Alex's email that she sent, and that she said Lush. I had to look it up. What the heck is Lush? Well, it's
Is
a
that for
cosmetics
Texas
store.
Rising or us?
No, Lush.
It
It's
could be
called
Texas
Lush.
Rising. It could be
Is that what it
affiliated
is?
with
It may-
Alex. Yeah.
It's not. Oh, okay. That's why it's on Alex's.
On Alex's calendar, yes.
Right.
I
That's
think
why
she
she
sent it
mentioned
out.
that it was a voter registration event. I
She
thought that
sent
was
it out
us.
via the league. I saw it too, Nick. It was through the league. So I would say we should follow up with Alex.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
that's a
saw it
good-
too,
a
but
great
I don't
idea.
know where it is.
Okay, so Catherine, if you would talk with Liz and then maybe Liz can talk to Alex about this, that would be great.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, I appreciate that. Okay, so the next thing I have on hand is the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Center wants a presentation given at the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. A lady named Eliza Long from the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Center is looking for someone to speak to the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Center about the importance of voting and women's voting rights. The presentation will be on Saturday, September 14th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturday, September 14th is an awfully busy day. There's another agency who will speak as well. Eliza's contact information, I have it here. So this is a time where we're going to have to divide and conquer. If anybody wants to be a part of that, it should be probably somebody who is very familiar with this type of information. Also, it could be that through Liz's group and through Alex's group, there could be some type of write-up such that if somebody goes, they can just give a presentation on voting. So after this meeting, if anybody feels like that they would like to take this on, because this is a 14th, and so we already have 2 or 3 events already going on. So if I don't hear from someone, if I can do this, if I can attend myself, I'll go. But I also have another request for voter information as well that I'm going to put out there. So that's deaf and hard of hearing. So keep that in mind, and we can talk about that. Okay. This is another message that I got. And this and Catherine, you might be able to help us, and Chris, you might be able to help us, but this is all about voting. And so it says, Alice, I met a relative of a person who is a felon sex offender who is done with everything except he has to have his photo taken regularly. Unsure and unafraid to vote. Did some exploring about this. So does anybody, that's one question I've never had about a sex offender. So does anybody on this call have any information or feedback on that? If you don't, then I will dig deeper with the Nueces County.
It's been a while, Alice, since I have been asked about that, so I'm not, sure that I still remember. And so somebody else here may, but I'm, certainly able to look up. And one of the things is if I'm not sure, because if you're off papers, then you're pretty much, you're able to vote. But,
Right.
Don't hold me, I would need to go back and review that to come up with a firm answer. And
Okay.
Well,
so,
that's
So-
the response that I got from the voter registrar probably 3 weeks ago.
okay.
If a convicted felon is off papers. Now, the question though comes in, if this person has not had his photo updated whenever by the county, then he is not yet off papers.
Mhm. Good
Well,
point.
yeah, that's the reason why I brought it up,
So
because
that's got to go
paper,
straight
yes.
to the either Secretary of State or our own voter registrar.
Okay, well, I'm going to put this aside, and I'll do some research myself, and I'll respond back to the individual. I didn't know if anybody knew straight offhand if that was a thing. Okay, the next thing I have here, yes, I'll do that, Eli. The next thing I have here is the proposed bond 2024 project list. And Dr. Neiman Young, who is the assistant city manager of the city of Corpus Christi, wants to reach out to the league and the league executive committee and come to us explaining to us about the bond projects, the bond project list. And he wants to speak to the board. And I told them that we were having a meeting today, and that I would get a consensus. And what I'd like to do is allow him to come to our next executive board meeting in October and share that information with us as an executive board meeting. I have put some parameters on him. I think I have given or I told him that we would probably be able to entertain about a 15-minute presentation and 5 minutes for questions. And that's going to be at our October board meeting. Okay, hearing nothing, I will extend that invitation to him and have him come over and talk to us about the bond. All right. The next thing I have. Okay, I still plan on talking to a couple of the area business people, more specifically HEB, about making a small donation to our organization so that we can make sure we have enough money for our voter guides. And that's the specific thing that we're going to do. I got a sample letter from the state, and we can just take that and form it into our own words, but have those basic ideas in there asking for a small donation. I do not want to start asking any of and y'all made it perfectly clear to me that we did not want votes, that we did not want Valero and the other and the Port of Corpus Christi to get involved in giving us money. So I took that under advisement, and so I kind of reshaped my list. So I'll be talking to HEB. We know that HEB is a partner for a lot of things in and around Corpus. And I just actually spent a week up in Austin at a Raise Your Hand Texas conference, in which they kind of gave us ideas on how to mobilize, how to build lists, how to get out there and advocate with our congressmen, our people in Austin, and all of that. So at some point, I'll be able to share some of that stuff that I learned. I went on CCISD's money, but it was something that can be crafted towards some of the things that we do. So it served a double, or it served for me a double portion of how I can use that information. Chris sent out a list here a few days ago, about the number of people that are running for office and for the city. And I think it came down to about 30 some odd people.
There's
So
31 on the city council, 31
yes,
seeking city
yes,
council, and then there's all of the other state
yes.
local
We have the
races.
mayor. Yes, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people running for mayor. The at-large group is 1, 2, quite a few. And this is what Chris was talking about in terms of getting all that information from all these people. 3, 4. We have Carolyn Vaughn, Larry Elizondo, Javid Motagi, Mark Scott, Robert Reyna, Jim Klein, Jennifer Garcia, and Rachel Caballero for at-large city council. For District 1, we have Everett Roy, Anthony, Eli McKay, Billy Lerma, and John Garcia. District 2, Sylvia Campos, Ben Molina, Eric Cantu, and Alberto Carrillo III. District 4, May Nardone Mendoza, Kaylan Paxson, Eric Magnuson IV, and Dan Grimsbo. And for District 5, we have Gil Hernandez and David Pena. For I gave you the mayor's stuff. So we do have quite a bit of information that Chris and Eli, Alex's crew are going to have to work with to put out our voter guide. I just thought maybe you might want to know a little something about that. The last thing I just want to kind of take a moment of personal privilege here and just talk about the fact that we are definitely in need of the state and the leadership at the state to give the schools money. 80%, we have 1,200 school districts in the state of Texas. 80% of those 1,200 schools are starting the year off at a deficit. And that is tragic. And I am editorializing here. That is tragic. The schools are really expected to start the year off with a balanced budget. And only if there's been some really serious things going on in each district are they going in and starting the year off in a deficit. So I'm saying this to let you know that people who are in charge and who are holding the districts hostage, that is really what it is. I'm calling it out because the governor said no vouchers, no money. And we had I think it was 4 special sessions that was called. I'm under the impression about a month or 2 ago that the governor actually had the votes to actually push the vouchers through, the voucher bill through. However, when I went to this meeting last week in Austin, I was told just in a conversation that all of the people that got primaried that was voting against vouchers, that some of them actually kind of reneged on supporting vouchers. And so maybe that total number has not come to fruition yet. We will know come January because that opens up that what 89 is it the 89th session?
Yeah.
Yeah, 89th session. And once that window hits, the governor can call any kind of meeting or session that he wants, even if it's not a regular session. So we're going to kind of know where we stand on that voucher deal. But I will tell you that vouchers, those vouchers, that money will be those are taxpayer dollars that will be if that passes, that will be used to fund private schools. And for those of you who may not know this, and I think most of us do, but the private schools do not have to take a student. Public schools are by law have to take students. So private schools don't have to have certified teachers. Public schools do unless they are under some form of district of innovation. Private schools don't offer special education. Private schools don't have to take kids who are troubled or who are uh, rambunctious, for lack of a better phrase. They don't have, they can, their counselors can be Christian or some type of secular counselor that is not certified by the state of Texas. So we are in a time where this is affecting the education of our students, and taxpayer money is being taken and moved into that. Now, I'd like to bring you some more information on it. I'm doing some outreach for that. I have some paperwork for that actually explains how that money is divvied up. But just based on what we already know, we need to advocate for public schools because this comes under the DE&I lens. Our kids are going to suffer if that pot of money is divvied up and the private schools take the money for their kids. So just something that I want you to keep in mind. I know that many of us are products of public schools. Many of us have offspring like grandchildren, nieces, nephews, and such. And even practically, I'm going to go out on a limb and say the majority of us on this call are products of public schools. So it is important that we are able to take care of our kids. We had to do a lot of cutting ourselves at CCISD, and we weren't able to give the kinds of raises that we would like to simply because we are operating on a deficit. And until we get that state money that comes down from the federal government, we are going to be operating throughout the year on a deficit. So just keep that in mind. If you can apply that to your own personal home and your budgets at home, when you're operating on a deficit, you got to cut some real serious things. So just keep that in mind. If people are talking to you about that, that comes under diversity, equity, and inclusion because it covers handicapped students. It covers students who have some kind of learning issue. It covers students who have behavioral issues, and it doesn't require that these people are certified.
Madam
So
President,
yes, go sir, go sir.
I hope that question is being asked in the voter's guide of everyone running for the Texas legislature, state reps, state senators, that question, are you for or against vouchers?
Yeah.
Well, there's Miss Fluky. Thank you for coming on. Girl, you came just in time to get up and get before the fire line. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I'm sorry for hopping in late here.
Okay.
Yeah, so for the voter guides, it's really, you have to be really careful with the questions just because, I mean, the league is already seen as, you know, leaning one way or the other, right? So these questions need to be like very, like, they need to be unbiased. They need to not be leading. They need to not like show that anything is like deemed as better than something else, because we don't want a voter guide where only one party answers and then the whole other party doesn't. So with the help of Sandy and Brittany and myself, we really tried to keep these questions as broad as possible. That's what's recommended by, you know, the League of League of Women Voters Texas, as well as the national. Really keep them general to make them not feel leading in any way. So for the voucher question, I do get a little nervous about that. I don't think I would specifically, you know, say if you're for or against vouchers. I think it might be like, what's like your plan for like public education, or what are your priorities for public education in during the time you serve, or something like that. But yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Well, in term, and I don't want to put my finger on the scale here, but the question about funding public schools or funding for our schools, somehow, I think we need to kind of edge that in some way or somehow. I agree that they should not be leading, because that's not what we are trying to do. But budgeting for schools, because that's what we pay taxes for. That's a tax. That is a tax. That is what those lawmakers will be talking about and voting about. So I think it's valid as long as we can frame it in a way that's, you know, nonpartisan.
And it could be something we could really focus on for the candidate forum as well. We have more time to like really all get together, put our heads together for those questions, and really what our league at large feels really really drawn to ask questions about. We can definitely do that for the candidate forum.
Okay, Chris is asking a question. Are we focusing on one or two forums?
I would say to be determined. I think I'm in voter guide mode right now. But yes, that is a good thing to have on the radar. I think that's something we could discuss as well, of what races we want to include in our forum, because, you know, for city council, just in general, that's what, 30 candidates for at-large council and mayor. So that's a lot. I think we should focus on local. I think if we're to cut something, I think it should be those larger state races that they already have more access to media, more access to the news, they have more funding. So I think getting those like CCISD people in front of our voters, getting city council, even like justice of the peace, like things that like are really important, but people just don't have as much knowledge of. But we can definitely discuss that as the group, but to be determined.
Well, I did ask some questions while I was at that forum about because the Raise Your Hand Texas does not necessarily sponsor school board and local city council. And but what she did tell me, and I would probably recuse myself for that school board forum if we had one, because I'm a candidate. But what she did tell me, and this is just food for thought, we could probably talk with the city, what is it, PTA leadership, and get them involved to help us put on a school board forum. And so I can get that name for you, Alex, if you want, and maybe you can have a conversation with the citywide PTA person that can help maybe put that on, or or sponsor it. We do have places where we can have it. I don't think that that's going to be a problem. But I think the people want to know. We have, I know, 9 people running for school board. We have 2 for District 2, and there's 7 for the at-large spot. And they will be vying for 3 spots. So I think maybe that's something. I had several calls today about some of the candidates. So people are really looking and they're wanting to get information. They're wanting to know, what it is that these people that are running, who they should support and all of that. So getting information out there, I think is going to be extremely important. So we are actually coming up on our deadline or our time to, as Carol Burnett say, I'm so glad we had this time together. She would sing it. I'm not going to sing it, okay? But if there's anything else that anybody wants to raise before we wrap the gavel, now is your time. Okay, Alex, okay, Armand has his hand up, and then the next person would be Alexandra.
Thank you, President Hawkins. I just wanted to confirm with Brittany, Chris, Beth, and Nick if they were able to receive the information about the September 14th program to their inboxes. Okay, I see a thumbs up that it sent Beth, and so it should have gotten to Brittany says yes, and Nick, you're more than welcome to check your inbox. I sent over that information. I also CC'd President Hawkins and Secretary Tryon. Thanks so much. If anyone else needs access to that information, happy to forward it over to you all. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much.
I got it.
Alex?
Yeah, and I just want to give a quick update on Vote For and One, the voter guides. Questions were sent out on, I want to say Tuesday of last week. And I gave a deadline of this Friday. As of now, we have 9 responses and 58 people have not responded. So in the next 2 days, definitely I need to make phone calls to remind people / I might need y'all's help as well. So if anyone is interested in, getting that going, sometimes the emails that were given are not the emails they check, so they don't even know they're missing it. But yeah, I have a deadline of Friday. I mean, I was a little late getting the questions out just with stuff. So, I mean, I think we possibly can push that back a little bit depending on Chris. But yes, okay. But yeah,
And it says, let me know how I can help. And you can let me know too how I can help you.
Okay,
if I can
cool.
be of service to you. All right.
Yeah, and I'm currently doing all of the layout stuff for getting the translations from the Spanish translator. So I'm just chugging away on that. I did take the weekend off, so
Good for
I'm
you.
gonna be back to work. But yes, I don't know if anyone has any questions, but yeah, that's where
Yeah,
we're at.
Alex, I do. Lisa Hernandez here. Did those your questions go to all local candidates?
Yes, so everyone we have not sent out to CCISD. We kind of need to figure that out still. But yes, all local, all the way up
Okay.
to
Up
Mike.
up how far on the ballot?
All the way up to Michael Cloud seat. So the one.
Okay, okay, great. Thank you.
Congress. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you very much.
Yes. Lots of people. But yeah.
Well, let me know how I can help. If I can be of any service, I can make some phone calls too.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
And we might be finding those phone numbers as well.
Yes. I can probably get you a few myself.
Okay, cool. But yeah,
Anybody else have a question, comments? Well, hearing nothing, we're going to, what time is it?
6:35.
Okay, at 6:35, we are going to officially call this meeting and adjournment. Thank you, everybody, for everything you do. I know how much you work. I know how hard you work because I know how hard I'm working. So, and this is a busy time for everybody. So I really appreciate all of your inputs. I appreciate all of the things that you do and reach out to the community. You have no idea. I knew this was a juggernaut. I got involved with it, and it certainly is. It is probably the hardest working, and we're doing some of the best work that can ever be done to save our democracy and to educate our voters. So thank you so much. And with that, yes, with that, we're going to call closed. Thank you, everybody.
Alex,
If you
did-
have any,
Holding out.
yes.
Did you want
Yes.
Sandy and I to stay on to talk about?
Yes,
number-
if you don't mind. Yes,
Okay.
please. That
Okay.
will be great.
Yeah,
All right,
bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Hold on, hold on.